Your boy Dvrth back at it again with another video, and today we are here with Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 23. Last episode we had the showing of the resilience of humanity once again, and so a couple moments that hurt my feelings. Guy had to say goodbye to one of the goats, Commander Pixis. We had to say goodbye to Nile. That episode hurt. That episode hurt. As much as it was hype, it also hurt. But we ended that episode with the long-awaited return of Annie finally coming out of her shell. She's been in there since the end of season 1, which for us is damn near almost a decade. But she's finally out, and I guess the question here is who. Well, there is no side, really. I was about to ask whose side is she on. It doesn't matter, honestly. There is no side. The world is ending, and that's kind of the point. So I guess the better question is, how is she going to react to waking up to the world ending? Because the thing is that since Eren broke down the wall first, and I was talking to a friend about this, how traumatic it has to be for Annie, because Annie fell asleep, or not fell asleep, Annie crystallized herself while being eaten. So she still thinks that she's being eaten. If she's in this cryostasis thing, she's still in the mindset of she's being eaten, which is why she's hyperventilating or some shit when she gets out. So she's still feeling that. Not only is she feeling that, she gets out of the shell, and she's hyperventilating because she's like, oh shit, I'm still in go mode, like I'm about to get eaten. She's scared as hell, but she comes out of her shell. For some reason she's wet, not sure why, but she comes out of her shell, and then she starts to hear Eren's voice saying, hey bro, I'm killing everybody. The world's gonna be flattened by me. I'm killing everybody in the world. The world's ending, and I'm gonna make sure that it does. So now she's even more scared and traumatized than she was before, and now she has to walk outside and see the end of the world. Yeah, Annie's fucked. Her mental is gone. So the better question is, how is Annie going to react to the end of the world? And I'm excited to see it. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more Attack on Titan or something totally different, the best place in that end is always going to be my social media. Links going to be in the description below, or you can comment below. That's cool too. And if you want these episodes, if you want the full length reaction to these episodes, you can subscribe to my Patreon. That's going to be in the description as well. So with all that out the way, let's get our headphones. Make sure they're on. Them bitches is on, and let's get into it. He's hurting his people too, but yeah, I was about to say, but to a lot of people, it's a small price to pay. Yeah. Eren killed his own people. Yeah. But if he hadn't, what kind of... Yeah, I mean, damn, yeah. Do the ends justify the means? Yup, Annie. She in this bitch. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Why is she wet? Why? Oh, yep, Hitch ain't no bitch no more. Mink it. Mink it. Right? Right, can you transform? What do we do? But this OP go hard. I don't care what nobody say. This might be my favorite. I'll be mad as fuck too if like my son got killed in this in as collateral in this rumbling thing. But I also see what the fuck I see what the other people are saying too. Like your son would have died anyways. Turn my headphones back down. God damn it! Turn my headphones back the fuck down. Oh, you heard everything. Oh shit! Right. Right. Oh. Ugh. That's tough, man. Right. That's war. Jesus Christ. That's why his that okay. I was wondering. Damn, you was built for this for real. A little too strong. Damn, beat his ass for real. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you beat my ass? I know you ready. God damn. You just developed a bond with her, or? Yeah, you just developed a bond with her. Yeah. Yeah, he started to realize that she might not come back. That's tough as hell. Not for long, nigga. That's horrible. Which is really what her demeanor's been this whole time. When we knew her consciously, was like she didn't care about anything. Yeah. Yep. I mean, the means justify the end, or the ends justify the means. Jesus, what a spectacle. Yeah. Oh no, Peek's dad. Yeah, they're trying to warn him. Hey, this nigga coming. It's real shit. Because like people that aren't Eldians aren't going to believe you. People that aren't Eldians didn't hear it. They're not going to believe you. Oh man. Don't do this! No! Why'd you do it? But right. Y'all need to live. That's real shit. Yeah. Fuck. He just wanted y'all to live, bro. That's real. Bro, Shadis is one of the goats, for real. What can you say, really? But I mean, okay. Right. What can you say? But you gotta say something. And we need that. Right. Doesn't mean that this place right here can't just fall into the same thing that the world did. See, this what Armin a real ass fucking nigga, bro. We gotta kill him. Oh, he's so stressed. He's so stressed. I'm. Yeah, fuck, there's so much. Oh my god. Yeah. No, I mean, hey, bro, chill out. Don't, hey. But this is why we chose you, bro. No, bro. Right. Mia's better. Maybe you can start a new life with that name. That's real. That's real. Oh god. The biggest bitch. The biggest bitch here. Dude, do you not know what you sound like? Fuck! This nigga, what? No! You really think people just stay the same like that? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. What the fuck? Oh no, dude. Connie, think about it, Connie. Think about it, big dog. That's... Damn. That's my dog for real, bro. Oh shit. Magnus is still alive, let's go. Alright, they about to go tell people, yeah. I mean, yeah. They're actually... Hey, chill out, hey, bitch! Hey! Bro, return of the motherfucking Mac. Return of the motherfucking Mac. Boy, you already know who it is. You already know who it is. Oh, that's my dog. That's my dog. Okay. Damn. Okay, damn. That episode was damn near all transition, but like we got some information. Information. Okay. Let's start in the beginning as we should. So we start off with the recovery effort of, you know, from the rumbling as best as you can, right? It was obvious that there would be collateral, like on your side, on Aaron's side of the, you know, of who he wants to protect, right? Eldians in general, right? There was going to be some Eldian collateral on Parody, because I mean they're huge fucking titans walking the earth right now. However, a lot of this episode was people saying that the ends justify the means. And this was our first taste of that in this episode, where you have the people who are very pro-Jaegerist, and they're like, "Yo, Aaron did it. We won. We finally we're finally free." All this, all this other stuff. And you have people who were personally hurt by what Aaron has done. People that probably were on the side of Aaron as well. That's something that we have to take into account, that these people before the rumbling were probably they were probably Jaegerists. They were probably very pro-Jaegerist. But it changes when your son or your mom, your daughter or wife, father, whatever, gets hurt in the war effort. Now all of a sudden it's, hey, fuck that guy. My son died because he did this. Like, I don't care that it's gonna save our island, our home. I don't care. My home was the son that I lost, or the wife that I lost, the daughter that I lost, that loved one that I lost. That was my home. So now that they're gone because of Aaron, fuck that guy. That was the whole reason why I was a Jaegerist, to protect the people that I hold dear. And the same thing goes for Aaron, that the reason why he started the rumbling. In the last episode, I believe it was the last episode, where we talked about that, Aaron is pretty much doing all this to protect one group. Just one group. Just Connie, Mikasa, Armin, and John. Sasha was still with us. She would be in that group too. But he's doing it simply to protect this small group of people. He could give a fuck about who gets killed in the as collateral. He could give a fuck who gets killed as collateral in his effort to save his friends. And it's the same thing with these people that we see right here. I could give a fuck who he killed. Your son, fuck him. We're about to be free. We're about to kill all of our enemies. But in all reality, those are the same people that if you lost your son, if you lost your wife, daughter, whatever, you would be on the opposite side. Fuck Aaron. My son's dead. Instead, it's fuck you for saying fuck Aaron, because I don't give a fuck about your son. This is for Eldia. This is for our home. And while it's fucked, but he makes another point. Your son would have died anyway. It sucks, dude. It sucks to put it like that, but yeah. He then says that, yeah, your son would have died anyway, which is probably true. It is probably true. The point being, though, of this situation is that neither one of those sides matter, because it's like both ways you could see it are true and false for each side. Yes, if your son died in collateral damage, you'd be mad. If your son died in collateral damage, you'd be mad. But because it's not you, you don't give a fuck, right? And also, since now you're rationalizing, well, he would have died anyway, you don't give a fuck. Which, okay, fine, but there's a better way to do it, right? Which is why I say neither one of these sides matter. The depiction of this argument isn't the argument isn't to depict who is right. The argument in the beginning of this episode was to depict why people feel the way that they do and why people do what they do. Some people do it for country, some people do it for man. It varies, but people always do it for what they love the most, for the people and things that they call home. Maybe this guy that's like, yeah, bro, fuck all y'all that lost y'all sons and daughters. I don't give a fuck. Yes, maybe he didn't lose anybody in the collateral, so he doesn't really care. And maybe he is just so far gone with the drinking the Jaeger's Kool-Aid that he's okay with everything. the the end the main point is the start of the theme of the ends justify the means, which is something that, especially in this season, we've gone over a lot. So yes, it was Aaron, go kill all them niggas because I'm trying to protect my family, not thinking about, hey, if he does that, there's a lot of people, a lot of families that are gonna die. You don't think about that. You think that I'm trying to let my family live. You give a fuck about your family, right? So yes, the ends justify the means for a lot of people, especially in situations like this. It's sad, it's it's horrific, but it is very, very true for a lot of people. That doesn't mean that it's right. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. There's a lot of nuance to that, but it does mean that that's how a lot of people think. That's how a lot of people are going to think. That's how a lot of people are always going to think. Like I said, it's not right and it's not wrong. It just is. So then we get the return of why is she wet? I know it's like my 13th time asking, but why is she? I mean, like, I guess because it's more like ice and like I don't know. Whatever. That's not the point. We get the reintroduction of Annie. She tries to, take Hitch hostage and be like, yo, chill out or I'm gonna slice your throat open. She's easily overpowered by Hitch because Annie is very weak and she's gonna need some help because she's very weak. And we get a little, standoff of her being like, yeah, you're under arrest, and Annie be like, bro, I will kill both of us. A little Mexican standoff between Annie and Hitch, and that ends in them just working together, which is a bit of a microcosm of what we should be doing in this situation. And it's what I talked about in the intros, that it doesn't matter whose side Annie's on. The world is ending. There are no sides anymore, which is why I'm so mad at Flock and other people that have that saying. The world is ending, not in more ways than one. So there's no such thing as like, I'm on this side, I'm on this side. There are no more like Jaegerist, Marleyan, Eldian, like there is no more war. This is quite literally the end. So the idea of being like in this standoff and being like, okay, yeah, I'll turn right now, I'll do it, and you'll be dead, or dog, you can't turn for real, so I'll throw you in jail if I got to. It doesn't matter anymore. That's not the point. It's not the point. You can't do shit. Just the same way that I can't do shit. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna turn, and then Aaron's just gonna tell you to chill the fuck out, and then you die because you have to listen to Aaron. Which is another thing that was said in the last episode, that he's like, Gabby's like, why don't you just go stop Aaron? Turn and go stop Aaron. I can't, because he has the power of the founder right now. He could just tell me to chill the fuck out, and I have to chill the fuck out. So yeah, both sides right here are fucked because it's not war anymore. It's the end of the world. And this episode is showing this episode is showing you, like, very, very thoroughly, that the idea of sides are dissolving. Like those don't exist anymore. They're quickly evaporating into the ether, and there's no more Jaegerist or Marleyan or Eldian, whatever. It's just the end. So I'm glad that I'm glad there wasn't like a huge struggle between like, whose side is Annie on? Like, what is she gonna do? Like, is she gonna fight for us? Is she gonna go try to save Is she going to go try to save her friends? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So we get that, and then we get the the reveal, which I guess isn't much of a reveal, because I guess a lot of people were of the same mind that Annie was probably cognizant of everything that she heard, that she was being told, or it would be, from a meta standpoint, it would be weird for to have like characters like Ant, or characters like Armin, or characters like Hitch to come in there and talk to her. From a standpoint in the show, as people, it's kind of understand, it's them venting. It's like it's Armin venting with the war atrocities that he had to commit, or Hitch venting about lousy men or something like that, which is really sad, because like it kind of gives like a look into Hitch's life maybe after Marlowe, which it's really sad. Like, if I could go on like a quick rant real quick, it's kind of sad, because like it means that I'm not gonna say it means, but if you wanted to have like a certain head canon, or like a looking into something a little bit too much, is that Hitch was very enamored with Marlowe. Hitch was in love with that boy, and for him to go out there and get murdered and not come back, Hitch was probably at a lot. Like, Marlowe was probably like the highest height of, like, the highest quality of man for Hitch that she could that she feels like she could have had. And with him not coming back, she probably tried to like fill that void, in not really getting the same results as she would get with somebody like Marlowe. When she went, maybe dated a couple of dudes that weren't as great as Marlowe, obviously, or people that didn't match the vibe that she was looking for with Marlowe, people that probably did match the vibe that she was looking for. But in the end, she's thinking, damn, that's not Marlowe though. So it shows like a little bit of the internal struggle with Hitch. I mean, like I said, it's more of like a head canon if you really start breaking it down, but it does show a little bit of the internal struggle with Hitch, with her be like, when she gets to vent with somebody who has to listen, like Annie. She talks about how lousy dates that she's been on, maybe, or like lousy guys that have like been hitting on her, or something, like dirt bags that she's run into or something. Like, it's funny, but it's also a little sad when you look into it, because it's like, damn, she really did like Marlowe a lot, and it seems like she never got that same quality of man that she was looking for in Marlowe, or that she basically, all she wanted was Marlowe. So when she got something different, that wasn't it. So before the rant, as I was saying, it's, I guess it wasn't so much of a reveal, because most people knew that she was cognizant, or most people were like, she's probably cognizant of hearing this stuff, because why else would you have people come down and talk to her? Like, from a meta standpoint, why would you have people come down and talk to her if it weren't to like inform her of what's going on? Because it would be absolute. Because think about it, if like we didn't have Armin or Hitch to inform her about what's going on. As I said in the introduction, she would be completely confused to walk out to the end of the world, and now we have to spend, like, once again, from a meta standpoint, we have to spend half the episode, or a good chunk of the episode, explaining things to Annie, like, this is what happened, this is, it kind of cuts out the middleman for that, but also it makes sense that she was cognizant. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So with her being up to date on what's happening, she now has a lot of time to think about what's happening and how she feels about it. And funny enough, we pretty much get the same answer as we got in the beginning of the episode, which is the means justify the ends. The ends justify the means. Jesus fucking Christ. If I've been saying that backwards the whole time, I'm so sorry. But the ends justify the means. With with her being able to think about, or to like contemplate on this stuff, like, was all this worth it? Like, was killing people worth it? Do I feel good about that? Like, did I do the right thing? With hearing Armin talk about like how he had to go over to Marley, kill thousands of people in one strike, and see the face of the citizens bleeding out and burned to a crisp, and then having to come back and then tell her about that, and her being like, or him being like, yeah, I guess this is what you had to go through, and her having to toil on that internally. It's just, she now has a lot of time to think, which makes sense for her, because if you can't do anything, you should probably just, like, in her situation, you should probably just sit there and like think about what you've done. And for Hitch, she does pose the question, like, you realize that like back in the day when you rampaged through the city, you killed a lot of people, you hurt a lot of people, in more ways than one. People's homes were destroyed, people were destroyed, people were hurt, and you caused a lot of damage that is, like, in a lot of ways irreparable. And the basic question is, how do you feel about that? What do you feel? Like, are you okay? Like, look around you. I get that you've been trying to stop this, but it's happening now. How do you feel about that? Are you okay with what you've done? And we get we'll get back into it a little bit, but that's when we get the backstory of Annie, in that she was abandoned as a child, which I always wondered, because I was like, I didn't know if it was like just the anime, not the anime changing things up a little bit with Mr. Lanhart, or just, or I don't know. But like, I always looked at Mr. Lanhart, I was like, that don't look like they don't look like they're related. And I didn't want to say nothing, because I was like, well, I've never seen her mom. Maybe her mom looks like Annie, and she just didn't get any genes from her dad for real. Like, she, you know, she just looks like 90% of her mom, and like the nose is from her dad or something. But she never looked like her dad, so it makes sense that she was abandoned as a child, and her dad, seeing her there, was like around the time of like the whole warrior thing. He was like, oh shit, and out. So now he sees it as, okay, if I can train this girl to be the ultimate weapon, I'm gonna have a better life, right? Very selfish plan to have, to take an orphan child and turn it into your own wealth, your own prosperity, which is horrible. And throughout this flashback, this backstory, we see Mr. Leonhard as a pretty dirt parent. You know, hardcore train. Like, this seems like some pretty tough training, I'm not gonna lie. Beating her ass, molding her into more of a weapon than a human. And to be honest, towards the end, that's exactly what he got. He got a weapon instead of a human. However, and just real quick to mention this scene where she's like really beating his ass and like broke his leg or something, it's like kind of solidified it as, to him and the viewer, like, yeah, she is more weapon than human, and he's happy about it because he got what he wanted. She is officially like a killing machine. Basically, she can kill people without having a weapon. So imagine what she could do with a Titan. So with her being this now newly formed weapon, she kind of accepts that fate in a way. Not even in a way, she accepts that fate, and she kind of realized that she just doesn't care, because that's how a person would be if you raised them like that. They don't care anymore. Like they're not human. They don't have those human emotions. They weren't taught to have human emotions. So for a lot of the time that we seen Annie in season 1 and stuff, she was very nonchalant. She didn't care. She just wanted to live. And it mostly comes from this upbringing of being trained so heavily, until we get the scene that we got at the end of season 1, where he seems to be very remorseful of making her as she is right now. He seems to be very like, how could I do this? Like, I'm sorry that I did this. I'm sorry that I raised you like this. He's very remorseful of what he's done. And that's all because even though, and we're not even shown really how the bond was created, but in all reality, he's had Annie for a very long, since birth. You have no choice but to develop some kind of bond. And for him, even though he was raising her like that, at the end there, he realizes, or at least I can only imagine, he realizes that she could go off. You have spent, I don't know how old Annie was when she finally left, like 13 maybe? No, she was well over a decade. You have spent well over a decade taking care, training, and in your own way sometimes loving this human being. So when you send them off to war, where they probably won't come back, because think about what they're doing. This is some dangerous shit. I don't care how much of a human nuke you are. This is some dangerous shit. You may not come back. Regular war is dangerous. Add Titans and all this crazy shit into it. Yeah, I don't expect you to come back, right? Or at least I'm going to be a little afraid that you don't come back. And I think it was the same thing for Mr. Lanhart, where he spent all this time with her, and at the end of it, where he realizes, oh shit, you're about to leave, which is one strike against his heart, and you may not come back, which is another strike against his heart. I'm not surprised that he kind of lost composure there and was like, he realized that he is this girl's daughter, or he is this girl's father, and he starts to have fatherly emotions towards Annie, where he's like, I just want you to come back, please come back safe. Like, this is probably emotions that he's been holding back all this time because of how he wanted to bring Annie up. He wanted Annie to be an emotionless killing machine. So even when he felt some type of, love towards his daughter, he probably didn't show that emotion. He probably kept that bottled up until the day that she had to leave. And he starts to realize how fucked up what he's been doing is. In kind, Annie responds in, the same way, where she's like, yeah, I'll come back. It's a promise. Because in the same way that he probably developed, in some way he developed a bond with her, she did the same thing. She saw him as, in his own little weird way, a loving father. So now she has a reason to come back, to see somebody want her to come back. That's enough reason for her to come back. So a lot of what Annie's been doing in season 1 has all been fueled by two factors of her character. One is that she is a killing machine, and two, that she has somebody to come back to. She has a home, which is very, that's what we've been talking about this whole entire episode, is that It's not the place that makes it home, it's the people. I lost my son. I don't care about this place anymore. Fuck Aaron, you know? It's the same thing with Annie. I'm just trying to get back home to my dad. And with everybody else, and you know I brought this up in the last discussion too, but I'll bring it up here with Peak saying I don't trust Marley, but I do trust the people, the comrades that I fight alongside with. The only reason anybody does anything, when somebody, mostly at least in the sense of this story, when people do things, when people say that the ends justify the means, it's because of the people that they love. And it's no different for Annie. The person that she wants to come back to, her father, everything she, as she said, she'd do it again. If it means that she gets to come back and see her father again, she would kill all those people again. Fuck it. Fuck your son. You know what I'm saying? And we're coming back full circle with that again. So it makes sense, you know, with Andy being like, yeah, it's fine. I would definitely do it again if it meant that I get to see my father. So next we are going to get on a little bit of this. I'm glad that the show, hang on. Let me read this information available for public disclosure. It's about the rumbling. The rumbling, used as a bogus threat by the 145th King Fritz to bring peace to Paradis Island for the past 100 years. Due to the vow renouncing war, the rumbling and its millions of colossal titans could not be put into motion until now. Following the collapse of Paradis walls, okay, that's basically telling us that the Titans are about to fuck shit up, which they constantly say. I know that there's, and somebody even said like in the comment section before, where they were like, no, there's only like 500,000 Titans, a little bit more than that. There's like a little bit more than like 500,000 Titans, and when they say millions, it's kind of an exaggeration. But if the show keeps telling me millions, I'm going to take it as millions. Mostly because even if it is just 500,000, that is a lot of fucking Titans. That's a lot of fucking... One colossal Titan is enough to destroy a port city, level the fucking ocean, and kill tens of thousands. So imagine 500,000. A little more than 500. I think the number was like 500,700 and something, or 570,000 something. That's like give or take how many Titans mathematically are in the wall. But if like I said, if the show says millions, I'm gonna think millions, only because just 500,000 is a lot. That's enough to destroy the world. And the idea behind that is that, like, I always liken Titans, especially the colossal Titan, to nukes. If you only need like 8 nukes, like real life, you only need 8 nukes to destroy the world. I think it's like 6 or 8 that you need to destroy the world. Try 500. I don't care if it's 500,000 or a million. It's enough to destroy the world. But we're gonna get back to the scene. So I'm glad that the show had this scene of Eldians trying to warn non-Eldians, basically Marlians, anybody that'll listen. Yo, the rumbling is coming. Did you not hear the OP? You know, shit's about to get real wild. Which, this is something that I like. This is half of what I wanted to see when it came to the rumbling, because I'm really interested in seeing the rumbling, like, as fucked up as it sounds. I'm really interested to see, because a lot of people are gonna die. That, like, maybe they stop the rumbling, but a lot of people are gonna die before they stop it. So I do want to see, like, how the devastation of what the rumbling is going to is going to cause, like widespread, because it'll like reinforce the atrocities that Aaron is committing right now. And I feel like a lot of people need to see that. Like a lot of the viewers need to see how fucked up this whole rumbling plan is gonna be. Like don't get me wrong, I get it. And to be honest, if I was Aaron, I would have did the same fucking thing. I get it. But shit. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. So I like that we got like half of what I want right out of the rumbling of people warning other people that didn't hear about it, being like, yo, I'm gonna keep it 55th Street. Then Wall Titans, they coming and they about to kill all of us. And other people, or the non-Marlians being like, you're lying, which is stupid. I get it. You don't trust them because they're dirty Marlians. They're second class citizens. I get it. But bro, listen, all I'm saying is that if I'm going to assume that in slavery days, right? Maybe not, but I'm going to not even just like in the days of slavery, but just in reality, if like another race, if everybody from another race told me all of us at like, I don't know, just pick any race or ethnicity, if all of them at the same time started telling every other ethnicity, yo, we just had a collective like dream or vision that our God just said that the world is about to end. We all just heard it. All of us. Nigga, do you know how hard it is? Mass hysteria? I get that mass hysteria is a thing. But do you know how hard it is for that many people to have? That's really, I would have to believe them. I would have to. I get it. They're stupid. They're ignorant. And that's the point. But God damn it, I would have to believe them. I would have to. I'm the type of person to believe if one person were to come up to me and be like, yo, dog, I'm from the future. And in like 20 seconds, shit. This whole city about to blow up. Oh, shit. I'm dead, right? I'm gonna believe you, because why would I not, right? Like, why would you say something that crazy to me? I'm gonna take some precaution. I'm gonna take some precaution. Obviously, you gonna say something that crazy to me, I gotta take some precaution. So imagine a brick of people just coming up to you and being like, yo, the world's about to end. We all just saw it. We all just had the same collective dream that the world's ending. We all just saw it. Nigga, I'm gonna believe you. I get it. Like I said, they're ignorant, but whatever. We then get Mr. Braun fighting back against the guards. And I'm really scared for that because we just got done talking about how Annie's home is her dad. And if that man just got killed, that's gonna be real. I don't know how she'd find out, but that would be really sad. It would be a way to solidify for Annie, at least, that she has no home to go back to. And while I don't think she would like find out, I don't know how she would find out. I don't know what she would do, how she would find that out, but it would at least solidify for the viewers that Annie has no home to go back to, which sucks, bro. Just absolutely sucks. Then we also get like him like having the flashback of her saying to come back and all this other stuff, which we just talked about. But let's talk about my man, the GOAT, Keith Chavez. One of the best episodes in honestly, sometimes I think about it, right? And whenever I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably my favorite episode of Attack on Titan. And it's such a stupid episode. And it's because it's such an innocuously stupid, like, it's not a stupid episode, but is a very normal episode about a normal person. By standard, is one of the best, if not the best, episode in Attack on Titan for me. And it's because of Keith Shadis. He's a normal fucking person. He's a very normal person. He's not special. And that was the idea of the episode. It also has one of the most important speeches in Attack on Titan, if not the most important speech of Attack on Titan, in the way of Carla's speech. I very much need people to go back. If you don't remember, for some reason you don't remember Carla's speech, or maybe you do remember it and you need a bit of a refresher, please go back to Carla's speech on 3x11 and listen to it again, because that was such a powerful speech, and in the same way it was so mundane, but it was great. I say that all to say that Keith Shadis is for me one of the goats of Attack on Titan, along there with like Pixis. So to have him like explain to these cadets, like, do you know why I let you beat my ass? Because I need y'all to live. Keith is somebody who while is a normal person, is cognizant enough to see the forest for the trees. So for Keith, he is very hard-headed and like very bullish and stuff like that. He's a normal person, but he is a normal enough person to be a good person. So for Keith, these cadets who he is, it's his job to train and protect these cadets in any way possible. When he sees these people basically turn on him, he's not mad. I mean, he seems mad on the outside, but he's doing this to protect them. It's like, yeah, if he were to beat at least a couple of them into submission, I don't think they would have made it. They would have got shot. They would have got tossed aside because they're not useful. So he had to make it to where they had some use within the world, because now Keith in a way is giving these kids a second chance, which is another one of the themes for Attack on Titan, which is getting kids out of the forest, right? And for Keith right now, he's passing on a good deed, which doesn't exactly in the beginning doesn't really seem like a good deed. It just seems like him getting jumped. He's passing on this goodness to the next generation. So these kids now know what it's like to be kind, to love somebody, to care for somebody, and to protect somebody. So now they pass that ideal to their children, their children's children, and thus making a better world, right? And one of the things that Attack on Titan does very well is the subtlety in which themes are handled. They're not very, like, of course there are a lot of things that are very on the nose. Sasha being shown after Gabby saved Kaya. There are a lot of things that are on the nose. That doesn't mean that they're bad things, but they're very on the nose. But what Attack on Titan does very well, what Isayama does very well as a writer, is write things in the middle of the very blatant themes. He writes moments, situations, and people in to reflect subtle ideas of like the themes of the show, right? So when it comes to the idea of getting the children out of the forest, there are situations in which seem very innocuous, very, very mundane and very normal, kind of like Keith, where it is the same thing that we talked about, that Mr. Browse talked about, of we have to teach the kids. We have to teach the kids better. There is no like, off switch to the cure for like the world's disease of hatred. You can only slowly but surely cure it from generation to generation. And in this situation, we have the same thing where he may not even know that he's doing it. He may not be actively like, yeah, bro, we gotta teach the kids to be better. But this is what he's doing. He's teaching the kids to be better by sacrificing his own body in life. He's like, yeah, bro, like I was just gonna let y'all beat my ass, right? Fuck it. I was gonna act like a badass and let y'all jump me. And like they're like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta get you gone, bro, because you saved us. Like, we gotta get you gone. We gotta protect you. He's like, no, fall in line and continue to teach people what I taught you. Fall in line. Whatever you do, survive, so you can teach the next generation the mistakes that that humans made when you were alive and when I was alive, and two, how to remedy that, how to be better. It's constantly that's constantly what the idea always is. Teach the kids how to be better. And for Shottas to do all this, he is perfectly embodying the words of Mr. I was about to say Mr. Braun, but Mr. Browse. And I love Shottas for that. Like, Shottas is already like a really good character for me, but in this situation, yeah, it's my nigga. That's all I'm saying. That's my nigga for real. So to speed this along, because goddamn it, this video is about to be really fucking long. I didn't expect it to be this long, but we get Armin and Mikasa having a conversation, and Armin's like, yo, I gotta go stop Connie. I gotta let him know that, like, we can't be doing this. This shit is dirt. I gotta stop him from feeding Falco to his mom, basically. And Mikasa's like, well, what do you really think you can convince Connie to not save his mom? Like, and yeah, when Mikasa says that, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I get it. Really, like, do you think that you can stop Connie from saving his mom? That's a crazy thing to try to do, right? And all Armin can do is say, yeah, I'm gonna at least try. I can't not try, right? And yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because it's not exactly it's not reasonable, or maybe it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not really probable that you're going to, like, convince somebody to not save their mom. But that doesn't mean that it's not possible. I mean that he still has to go over there and say something. And you can see in this scene how and this is what's really important about this scene, is seeing how stressed Armin is. Armin has always been, like, carrying the group on his back in his own little way that a lot of people seem to not really notice. Armin has been the backbone of this group for a long fucking time, and not only that, but he is unappreciatively the backbone of this group for a long fucking time. Not just with characters in the show sometimes, but also viewers. Like, I don't think people truly understand how much of a burden Armin has to carry on his shoulders since season 1. Like, I get it, Armin was a bitch in season 1. I get it, right? Wasn't really the strongest character, but he has constantly took the high road. He has constantly placed a burden on himself. The boy is stressed. He is really fucking stressed, rightfully so. So when he's having this conversation with Mikasa, being like, yo, are you sure you can do this? Like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, leave me alone. I'm just gonna do it. it is so obvious how much this stress and like guilt is getting to him, because in the back of his mind he's like, Erwin probably would have done better, right? Erwin probably would have done better. And we even get that in the episode where, or in the scene where Mikasa, while being a little lost because she doesn't have Eren anymore and stuff, she's like, Armin, what should I do? And in this moment, it's more of like a, yes, you know, she's lost because she doesn't have Eren, but also it's reaffirming that we have always had Armin to be like, you do this, you do this, you do this, and this is what I'm going to do. And he's been just constantly carrying these niggas. I mean, carrying this whole cast without anybody really noticing. And in this scene, we reaffirm it where Mikasa's like, well, what should I do? And Armin's like, I don't fucking know what you should do. He's so mad, and it's understandable why he's mad. The world is ending, and you're asking me, what should you do? I have guided us this far, and you're asking me what you should do as the world ends? Yeah, obviously, if you guided them this far, they're gonna look up to you to figure out what should they do. But god damn it, I can't blame Armin for being frustrated. I can't. I would too. I would be a little frustrated. I'd be like, nigga, I don't know. Don't die. I don't know, right? And he just has his little breakdown, which rightfully so. Have your breakdown, Armin, because he deserves this. He deserves this breakdown. He deserves to get his feelings out, because Armin is one of those characters that even when he was talking to Annie, I feel like he was bottling things up. Even when he had somebody who literally had no choice but to listen to what he was saying, he was still bottling things. He was bottling things up. So now, once the stress really overflows, he's just got it going. I don't know. Like, what? Like, he even says, like, what can we do? He's like, what do we do about Eren? What can we do? What can we do? Nothing. The world's ending. Now, granted, you can do some things. You have to kill Eren, and we should probably talk about that a little bit, about like who has to kill Eren. And I think it's obvious who has to kill Eren. I think it's been obvious for a while since we found out their true identity, of like what their identity means and stuff. We know who has to kill Eren. Like, it's obvious. Mikasa has to kill Eren. Mikasa has to kill Eren. Not only because, well, we'll get to that, right? We'll get to that. Let me talk more about Armin. But yes, Armin finally has he finally spills his feelings out. Like, I've come to the conclusion that, Eren, if he was in this situation, he wouldn't have lost it on you like that. He's like, it shouldn't have been me that you saved, right? And that's kind of, that's brought back up because when Kanye was like, yo, you're only here because you ate Erwin. Like, that's the only reason, or you ate Bertold. Like, that's the only reason you're here. So it kind of brings it back up, and he now has to think about that again. Like, yeah, Erwin would have got us out of this. I know he would have. He would have been calm about it. And like, that's Erwin. Like, let's be real. Erwin had his fucking mouth or his hand in a titan and still command. That was a hard ass scene, nigga. That was a hard scene. But Erwin is he's the real deal. Yeah. It's hard to compare yourself to him. So Armin's like, yeah, it shouldn't have been me that y'all brought back. But here's the thing. There is no way the world would recover if we didn't have Erwin was not. I get a lot of people. Here's the thing. A lot of people do think that Erwin should have been brought back. I get it. You wouldn't have survived long. I promise you that right now. If you would have chose Erwin, you would not have survived long. And when I say that you wouldn't have survived long, I mean like your family, your family's family, and the people around your family would not have survived long. You have 50 to 100 years tops. And that's being generous. You would not have survived long. Your family wouldn't have survived long. Your family's friends wouldn't have survived long. That's just real. That's why we picked Armin. That's why it was, and I wish that episode is one of those episodes that I wish I had finally started. I like reacted to. But yes, you would not have survived long, because the reason why we picked Armin is because Armin's foresight went further than Erwin's. Erwin's sight stopped at the basement. Erwin did not think. Erwin is a great tactician. Erwin is a great leader. But Erwin was not thinking long, Erwin couldn't think long term. Like he couldn't plan for the long game unless it was about war. Hey, Erwin, we need to capture the female Titan. I got you. Hey, Erwin, we need to figure out who the armored and Colossal Titan are. I got you. Hey, Erwin, we need to figure out how we're going to fight back against Marley. I got you. Like, he would have had it. He would have had it in the bag, right? I get it. Erwin's a cold piece. I'm not about to act like Erwin isn't a cold piece. He's one of the coldest anime characters I've ever seen in my life. But when it came to understanding how the world was going to recover, Erwin could not tell you shit. Not a damn thing. Erwin didn't plan for that. Erwin never planned for that. Every time that, and it was even like easily like foreshadowed in what each character talked about. When every time Erwin talked about his plans, it was always like, I gotta get to the basement, I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you talk to Armin, it was like, imagine how far we could reach. Like, it was the sea. It was beyond the sea. It was fire. It was water of fire and sand and, you know, sandy dunes and all this other shit. You were not going to get very far with Erwin. Once Erwin got to the basement, that nigga probably would have quit. He probably would have been like, "Whoop, I seen it. I figured it out. That's crazy." And yeah, like after the whole Marley thing, like he would have been like, "Oh shit. I gotta go get it. I gotta go kill Marley." That's as far as you would have got, though. That is as far as you would have got. You would not have gotten any further than that. That's like, yeah, Erwin's great, but he could only get so far. Armin saw far beyond the horizon of war. Erwin couldn't. Erwin's vision stopped at war. Erwin's vision stopped at liberating humanity. What about recovering? What about how does humanity learn to love after that? How does humanity learn to understand after that? Humanity needs a lot more than firepower. That's why we brought back Armin. The reason, like the fact that Armin's going to go to Akani to explain to him why we need to save the enemy is the reason why Armin was the correct choice. I get it. Like I said, get it. A lot of people want Erwin. That's a lot of firepower. I ain't about to lie to you. That's a lot of firepower. It wouldn't have got you very far though. So yes, Armin is the perfect choice for this. He was the perfect choice for this. As much as, you know, I understand that he is very. It should have been me, or it should have been Erwin. No, it should not have. No, it should not have. We get Gabby and Kaya saying goodbye to each other. You know, they finally squashed their beef, and it's beautiful because, I mean, it's once again, it's the younger generation, it's the new generation making up. It's the new generation building bridges with each other and connecting the world the way that it needs to be. And we've talked at length about that, but you know, you understand, right? It's just beautiful because we're getting the children out of the forest. We're slowly but surely making a better world, very small, it's baby steps, but we're doing it. We're doing it. I hate Flock. I hate him so much. Why do you, I get why you care, like, but, and I don't, I hate that nigga, bro. I hate him so much. I hate Flock so much, bro. Like, I can't. I get it. I get Flock, bro. Don't. I know there's a lot of people that like Flock. Surprisingly, not surprisingly. Who am I kidding? That's not surprising. I get that a lot of people like Flock. I can see why people could like Flock's ideology. It's a very lazy ideology, and it's very short-sighted. But I get why people like Flock, and I get why Flock's important to the story. Don't get my hatred for Flock, twisted with, oh, he don't really understand the importance of Flock for real. No, I understand the importance of Flock. This show would not be the same without Flock. As crazy as that sounds, this show would not be as fleshed out without Flock. He's very important. Hate that nigga though, and that's why he's important. I get Flock, but if at any time any like rogue titan or stray bullet wants to hit Flock, hey man, I ain't even about to stop you, bro. So I think the more important thing, other than spending another 20 minutes talking about how much I hate Flock, we should talk about his conversation with John. Since the beginning, John has wanted to live a very comfortable life. That's a little out of reach right now, but what Flock is trying to do is say that, hey bro, we could have that again. You could chill out now, you could rest, which is what a lot of people want to do right now. The world's ending and all this other shit, but surprisingly enough, not even surprisingly enough, understandably enough, what everybody wants to do is sleep. There's a meme there's a meme of Reiner being like, Aaron's about to destroy the world, I'm going to sleep. And it's funny, but yeah, that's what people want to do, especially people like Reiner and John and Mikasa and Armin and all of our the 104th that has been through hell and back. All they want to do is sleep, and I don't blame them. John, all he wants to do is chill out, go, just live a more comfortable life. But this isn't the same John. That is an old version of John that was a little blind to the world. This John is more mature. This John understands that right now he can't do that. He can't revert. That's not what humans should do. They shouldn't revert. After growing, they shouldn't be like, okay, I can go back to being the old me. No, you shouldn't. Because another thing that this episode really hit on, like another theme, not even a theme, a concept that this episode really hit on is that say Aaron does destroy the world outside of parody, and it's just parody. That's not to say that people aren't going to hate each other inside the shores of parody. People are still people. The idea is to remedy people to make them better, slowly but surely make them better. So make the Eldian Empire, but you're going to end up with the same problem that you have right now, just at a smaller scale, and you're probably going to end up with the same outcome. So yeah, John, you can tell John all you want to. Hey man, you can live a comfy life. You want to be in the MP, right? You want to live life, eat grapes and bread and cheese and shit like that. You want to do all that, right? No, not anymore. Yes, I would love that, but I can't anymore. Like, this is where we're at. I can't revert myself back to the old person I was, because then that means that we would have the same problems after we reestablish ourselves. And at this point, John is so mature right now that he, like, yeah, he could have a moment of weakness where he's like, damn, that do sound nice, but there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. Okay. Let me speed this up because this video is like way longer than I thought it would be. I genuinely thought this video was gonna be like one of my shorter ones, but obviously that's a fucking lie. I guess finally we get the last two like kind of scenes, which is Connie bringing my dog Falco back to what he is saying a hospital for his amnesia, which is basically him being like, yo, I'm about to go, I'm lying. I'm going to go take you to get eaten by my mom. And he seems for a while to be he's very about this plan. But Falco is like, yeah, he's a real great guy. This is a great guy, you know? How nice of you to do this. And even Mr. Brown said, like, I know Kanye's gonna hesitate. There's no way Kanye just goes up and he does it, because Kanye's not that type of person. Yes, we underestimated the struggle of Kanye. We underestimated the despair of Kanye. But at its core, Kanye is not that kind of guy. Kanye became a soldier to protect and to be an all-around good person. Feeding Falco to his mom is not the way. It's not the way. That's not what we about, right? That's not what his mom would want. That's not what his family would want. And I think slowly Kanye is kind of like getting out of his, like, waking up from his anger and desperation. He's realizing, oh shit, what I'm doing is wrong. And you know what? Throughout this, he probably even knew what he was doing was wrong. But he's finally waking up today, like, oh shit, what I'm doing is very wrong. So Mr. Browse was very right. He is going to hesitate. He's not gonna do it. I doubt he's gonna really want to do it, and I understand why he would, but he's not gonna do it. And you know, Falco's very important. Like, just as being the new generation of people to preach the actual good word, Falco is very important. But also Falco is important because he's the only way that we can kind of bring everybody together to like actually stop what's going on, right? So I think Kanye is finally like getting out of that, like, oh shit, I can't do this. And then finally we have the return of the Mac. Well, first of all, we got Peak and we got Magath, which I love both of these characters. Absolutely love Peak and Magath. So I'm glad they're okay. However, now we got the return of Levi, the Goat, and like I said before, Levi doesn't need much to do damage, to do work. I don't know what, like, once we rehabilitate Levi, I don't know what we're gonna do with him. I don't know how we're gonna like add him to our artillery, but he ain't gonna be useless. I guarantee you that. And in this situation, it's another way to bridge the, like, once again, show everybody there are no more sides. I get it. You're Marleyan. I'm an island devil, but it's the end. There are no more sides. We need to help each other survive. And I think this will be another good showing of that. And finally, even though I said finally, like before, I want to bring this back up because I forgot to talk about it when we were talking about Armin. I got a little like carried away, but Eren has to die. I think everybody knows that Aaron has to die. Aaron in a way has already saved the world. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Aaron has already accomplished what he wanted to do. He saved the world. People are going to learn from this. Like from the rubble of the rumbling and picking themselves up, people are going to learn from this. You've already saved the world. You can rest now. Aaron has to die, which sucks. I don't want him to, because I want as selfish as it is, and I'm sure like the real edgy people out there are like, no, I want really sad endings and shit like that. Sometimes people deserve a happy ending. I don't believe that happy endings are bad. Like I'm very pro happy ending, right? When it's deserved. And if any show deserves a happy ending, it's this one. I'm fine with a happy ending, bro. If I've said this before, but with the quality of show that this is, like some shows are just have such great quality that the mangaka, the storyteller, whoever deserves to end it however the fuck they want, right? And this is one of those. I don't care how they ended, but goddamn it, I just wouldn't be mad at a happy ending. If they said Aaron lived and he married Mikasa and they had 12 kids and all this other shit, and they had a big happy family with Uncle Armin and everybody's living and the 13-year rule isn't a thing anymore. Titans aren't a thing anymore, which is Titans definitely won't be a thing anymore. Mostly because Aaron doesn't get memories, and Aaron didn't get memories of another Attack Titan. So yeah, obviously Titans won't be a thing anymore. But if they wanted to make a great the happiest ending ever, I wouldn't be mad. Wouldn't be mad. I know the Edgelords would be, but I wouldn't be. Shit, fuck it. Let them have a happy ending. But that's not the reality. Aaron has to die. Which comes to one very, very sad realization that I had a while back. Like I said, I had this realization when when we learned about this person's heritage. Mikasa is an Ackerman. And yes, there has been a very, in the past couple episodes, or not since season 4, with everything going on with the Ackerman and like the Aaron being like, yeah, y'all are slaves and whatnot. One, we knew that Aaron was telling white lies. 2, it's because Mikasa is an Ackerman that she has to kill Aaron. They made it a point to say, what's his name? Reiner made a point to say, I can't go after Aaron. Like, I can't physically and personally go after Aaron, because as the founder of Ymir, or with him having the founder, any subject of Ymir is subject to his will. Reiner could go over there and Aaron be like, chill out, and he gotta chill out. Pieck could go over to Aaron, try to kill him, and Aaron's just gotta say chill out, and she has to chill out. Armin could go to Aaron, try to kill him. All Aaron has to do is say chill out, and he has to chill out. But there is one bloodline that apparently is not subject to the pull of the king. And that is the Ackermans. As much as they are said to be protectors of the king, they are only referred to as protectors of the king. Not once have I ever heard the Ackermans be said to be like subjects of the king. And think about it. In Ymir's backstory, what did we see? We saw somebody who is probably a protector of the king rebel and try to kill him. I'm not saying that's an Ackerman. That's not what I'm saying. That would be cool. I'm not gonna lie, that would be crazy if that was an Ackerman. But what I'm saying is that history in a lot of ways tend to repeat itself. And in a lot of ways in the story, we have had history repeat itself. And if anything in history were to repeat itself, it would be that the Ackermans are able to rebel. If any, like, even in the very beginning of this show, they said that there were two races, two ethnicities or whatever that just weren't subject to the king's will. The Orientals and the Ackermans. Mikasa is both. So, as much as Eren told Mikasa, like, you're a slave and all this other shit, that was the lie. If Eren's seen all of this, or at least a good amount of it, and he's planned this, and, you know, we can't really decipher what exactly he's seen, what exactly he hasn't, it's a good chance that Eren knows that Mikasa is the one to kill him. Or at least Eren knew that Mikasa wasn't a complete slave. In some way, shape, or form, Eren knew that Mikasa would be the only one to be able to kill him, simply because if Mikasa goes up to kill Eren, Mikasa can't, like, Eren can't tell Mikasa to chill out. Funny enough, the only character that Eren specifically said was a slave is the one that isn't subject to his rule, thus making her the best person to assassinate him, and also the worst, because that's gonna hurt a lot. That's gonna hurt a lot. I could go deeper into it because I have other, like, theories that go into, like, the whole Mikasa killing Eren thing, specifically with everybody constantly saying that, like, and it's usually like subjects of Ymir, or not just subjects of Ymir, but like Titans. I'm saying, like, yo, that was kind of like a dream, or being confused about timelines. I know we've gotten to that before, but yeah, that's one thing that I can probably say with confidence, is that Mikasa is the only one that's capable of killing Eren, and it's probably the saddest thing about this show. So I have talked enough. I have talked for almost 2 hours, or not for 2 hours, but this video is almost 2 hours, and I'm sorry. I dead ass thought that this would be one of my shorter videos. I really did. I genuinely thought that this was going to be a shorter video. I thought I was going to talk about what happened, because this was more of a transition episode. I thought this was going to be a very short video. Apparently not. I'm sorry. But yeah, this was obviously a great episode. Attack on Titan is just killing it, and we do need a little bit of downtime right now, because after everything that we've been through for the past, like, 4 or 5 episodes, we need to cool off a little bit. So I'm glad we got this transition episode. I'm glad that we had a bit of downtime, but also a lot of information that we could use to figure out what's going on here. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. If you're just a lurker, I appreciate you too. If you have any requests, whether it be more Attack on Titan or something totally different, the best place to send that in is always my social media. Link's going to be in the description below. And if you want these episodes, or if you want the full length reaction to these episodes, that is going to be in that is going to be in on my Patreon. Link's going to be in the description for that as well. So with all that being said, because this is the longest video, I'm sorry. Get my off button ready. There he is. You all stay amazing, stay safe, and take care of yourselves.